From a crown prince who's next in line to rule a whole country, to a baby with $250 million in the bank. These are the richest kids in the world, and the truth behind their wealth. Now, speaking of truth, what better place to start than True Thompson? She's the daughter of reality TV star Khloe Kardashian and NBA player Tristan Thompson. Despite currently being 4 years old, True already has a net worth of around $10 million. That's a figure that apparently her parents have placed in a trust fund for her, which she'll be able to access when she comes of age. Her mum, Khloe, has a net worth of around $50 million, while her dad, Tristan, has a net worth of around $45 million. So it's pretty easy to see how they can afford to set aside $10 million for True's trust fund. It must be so nice to be set for life before you even understand what set for life means. Now, just like her parents, True is already active on social media, although it's her parents who manage her account. The thing is, she's already got over 100,000 followers on Instagram, which means she's probably already making good money from brand sponsorships. Now, speaking of brands, let me introduce you to Valentina Paloma Pinault. The chances are you may not have heard of little Valentina, but you're probably familiar with her famous parents. Valentina is the daughter of actress Salma Hayek, and her father is French businessman François-Henri Pinault. He is the president and CEO of the Kering Company, who own brands like Gucci, Yves Saint Laurent and Balenciaga, amongst many other luxury brands. So, while mother Selma is worth around $200 million, it's her dad François-Henri who's really rolling in the big bucks. According to Bloomberg, he's worth a staggering $36 billion. And with that in mind, Valentina, an only child, already has an estimated net worth of around $12 million, but that's likely to be a lot more in the future. Up next, we have Dannielynn Birkhead, who's not had an easy life so far, despite being worth around $700,000. Although her mum, Anna Nicole Smith, passed away in 2007, she made sure that her daughter was well taken care of. In 2008, at the age of 1, Dannielynn was named the sole heir to Smith's estate, which was estimated to be about $700,000 at the time. Now, sadly, Dannielynn's early life was very turbulent. She was the focus of a custody battle between Anna Nicole Smith and former love interest Larry Birkhead. At the time of Dannielynn's birth, Smith and Birkhead had already broken up, and Smith was already in a relationship with lawyer Howard K. Stern. Smith actually went as far as to list Stern as Dannielynn's father on the birth certificate, but after Dannielynn's birth, Birkhead filed a lawsuit to establish his paternity. To make things even murkier, other men also came forward claiming to be Dannielynn's father. They included actor Alexander Denk and German-American businessman Frederick Prince von Arnold. With all that said, the case was eventually settled in favour of Birkhead after DNA tests revealed that he was indeed the father of the baby, and the father on the birth certificate, Howard Stern, didn't challenge the results. Now, moving on to a young boy who's actually earned all of the money he's made himself. That's no small feat, seeing as we're talking of millions of dollars. This is Ryan Kaji. Unless you have a kid, you might not be familiar with him. He's a star of the YouTube channel Ryan's World. Now, for many years, Ryan was actually the highest paid YouTuber in the world. He's recently lost that crown to Mr. Beast, but his channel has over 30 million subscribers and more than 12 billion views. He reportedly earns around $30 million annually just from his YouTube, but that doesn't include the $200 million in licensing deals from brands such as Nickelodeon and Marks & Spencer. Plus, on top of that, he also has his own range of merchandise and his own line of toys. Ryan's channel was apparently launched in 2015 after little Ryan watched another toy review channel and then apparently asked his mum, "How come I'm not on YouTube like all the other kids are?" So when his mum launched the channel on his behalf, it quickly grew to become one of the most popular on YouTube, and his most viewed video, Huge Eggs Surprise Toys Challenge, has more than 2 billion views. That makes it one of the most viewed videos ever on YouTube. But it hasn't all been smooth sailing. You see, in 2019, consumer watchdog group Truth in Advertising filed a complaint against the channel, alleging that the video sponsors aren't being properly disclosed. According to the complaint, quote, nearly 9% of Ryan's videos have included at least one paid product recommendation aimed at preschoolers, a group too young to distinguish between a commercial and a review. Now, as of the time of filming this video, the case is still ongoing, but there's a bigger question to ask, which is, where is all of Ryan's money actually going? You see, as a kid, while Ryan might be the face of the channel, the legal owners are Ryan's parents. His dad used to be an engineer, but gave up his job to focus on YouTube, and his mother was a chemistry teacher who, believe it or not, was apparently arrested for shoplifting $93 worth of clothes. Crazy. Alright, moving on to North, Saint, Chicago and Palm West. What happens when a world famous rapper and a reality TV star get married? They make an adorable bunch of kids named North, Saint, Chicago and Palm West. Now, Kim Kardashian's net worth is estimated to be about $780 million, whereas Dad Kanye West's net worth is around $1.3 billion. So, given the crazy net worth of both parents, it should be no surprise to hear that these siblings have a nest egg to the tune of about $40 million set up in a trust fund. As the children of two of the most recognisable people in the world, you can bet that even at that young age, these kids have already been exposed to the limelight. In fact, even before they were born, the expectant parents were offered $2 million for their pictures. Northwest is the oldest of the four children, with Saint being born right after Kim and Kanye got married. The two younger kids, Chicago and Palm, were born via surrogates. It's unclear what the situation is now that Ye and Kim are divorced, but the trust fund shouldn't be harmed at all by their conflict. Now, one set of kids who are even richer than Kim and Kanye's kids are Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's children. That's Maddox, Pax, Zahara, Shiloh, and the twins Knox and Vivian. Now, even though Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are divorced, both are committed to being good parents, which means that their kids will never want for anything, given that they have a trust fund worth about $250 million. I mean, when you're the kids of two super A-lister parents whose net worths are around $400 million combined, I think that pretty much means you're going to be alright. Three of the kids, Maddox, Pax and Zahara, were all adopted. Angelina adopted Maddox from Cambodia in 2002 when she was still married to former husband Billy Bob Thornton, but 3 months after the adoption, her marriage to Billy Bob ended. In 2005, Jolie then adopted 6-month-old Zahara from Ethiopia, whose biological mother sadly died during childbirth. Both she and Maddox were formally adopted by Brad Pitt in 2006, and that was a year where the couple had their first biological child, Shiloh. Her first pictures were allegedly sold to the American magazine People for $4 million, as well as to the UK magazine Hello for $3.5 million. Brad and Angelina again sold photos of their kids in 2008, this time for their twins Knox and Vivian, and those photos allegedly sold for $14 million, making them the most expensive celebrity baby photos ever sold. Now, that brings us on to the next children on our list, Blue Ivy, Sir and Rumi Carter. They're the kids from billionaires Jay-Z and Beyonce, and given that their parents are musical royalty, it's no surprise that they've set up a trust fund in each of their names, estimated to be worth a combined $500 million. Together, Beyonce and Dad Jay-Z have a combined net worth of $1.5 billion, so there's no doubting that their kids are going to grow up in style. So stylish in fact that when they were first born, Jay and Beyonce splashed $180,000 on 18-karat gold cribs and pacifiers. Oh, and in case you want to name your future kids Sir or Rumi, you might want to think twice, as apparently Beyonce has applied to trademark these names, just like they did with firstborn Blue Ivy. Now, up until this point, we've talked about some seriously wealthy kids, but none of them, until now, rule a country. The next kids on our list all come from royal families, starting with Prince Moulay Hassan and Princess Lalla Khadija. These two are the children of King Mohammed VI of Morocco. Now, as the elder of the two kids, and as the male, Prince Moulay is the heir apparent to the throne, but both he and his younger sister, Prince Lalla Khadija, will inherit their family's wealth, estimated to be around $8 billion. The Moroccan royal family is actually estimated to be the 9th richest royal family in the world. Individually, as the crown prince, Prince Moulay's net worth is estimated to be about $1.5 billion, and it seems like his whole life has been preparing him to take the throne. Apparently, he's been attending royal engagements since the age of 10, and although he has a huge fortune to his name, Moulay apparently lives a pretty modest life. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have a few luxury toys, such as his private jet, a Gulfstream G650 worth $67 million. Now, you can't talk about royal princes and princesses without talking about Prince George, Prince Louis, and Princess Charlotte of Cambridge. These three are probably the most well-known of all royal children, but do you know their full legal names? Prince George is actually Prince George Alexander Louis. His younger sister, Prince Charlotte, is Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, and youngest brother Prince Louis is Louis Arthur Charles. Quite a mouthful. As the eldest son of Prince William and Duchess Kate, George is third in line to the British throne, and with that position comes some pretty amazing perks. It's been estimated that apparently he single-handedly contributed $3.6 billion to the British economy, and his individual net worth is estimated to be about $2 billion. But if you think that's impressive, wait till you hear about Princess Charlotte's net worth of about $4 billion. As fourth in line to the throne, Charlotte is apparently worth more because she's already considered a fashion icon. I just hope that all of the kids featured in this video turn out okay, because as the crazy story of Dennis Rodman proves, money can really make people go off the rails. You can be rich today, poor tomorrow. Especially if you make the life choices that Rodman did. If you haven't seen my video about how he blew his $27 million of earnings, I'll leave a link on screen now for you to check out that video next.